we won't have to cry no more.
Black love. My parents, they've always shown love. I think through my life, I didn't see them fight often, if at all, to be completely honest. And just I think black love for like seeing growing up was not only just I think familial love and seeing like what black marriage looks like, but also seeing it outside of that. So it would be like my aunts or like the love that my grandmother showed for our family through food or through hospitality or whatnot. I think that's also something that's like a very key part of my experience with black love is knowing that black love is about community love. It's about the love that your aunt got for you, love that your cousin has for you, love that your mother has for you, all that good stuff. And it's knowing that it's like a culmination and it's a community. Everyone always says, what is that phrase about? Like
it takes a village.
It takes a village. Yeah. So it's like that. I think that's for me is what really culminates in seeing black love is like that community aspect of it, and knowing that you're not in this alone.
This is so weird because it's such a struggle concept for me. My parents divorced when I was 6 or 7. So up until then, I experienced the perfect black family of unity. My mom adopted my older brother. He was from a previous marriage, and when my parents divorced, it shattered like my complete image of what black love was. But I would say the most consistent example I've had in black love is my grandmother. And again, she's not married, but just her presence in my life to me was just black love. Like, it's hard to explain who she is to me and how she is to me, but just her strength, her resilience, her wisdom, everything that I would want out of life, what I would want for myself, what I would want to see in a partner, what I want to instill in my kids, I got from her, and that to me is black love.
Dang, I'm gonna hold it together. I ain't gonna cry. The black love that I saw coming up, man, so many spectrums. I grew up in a good household. Let's start out there. I grew up in a strong, loving household. But everybody in life is going through life trying to figure out who they are and what they're going to be. A lot of people don't know, but my parents got divorced when I was in 5th grade. My dad decided to step out and have a child for another one while he was married to my mother. And it was tough for me. As a child, I felt like it was my fault. I don't know why we do it, but we just naturally think that it was your fault, but it's not. And I remember the nights I used to sit at my mother's door and just listen to her cry, and it made me realize what I plan not to do as a man, what I plan not to do to any woman, what I plan not to do to my wife. Or let it happen to any women in my life. But it also showed me, even in that dark time, it showed me the love and the charisma and the character and the strength and the beauty that my mom represented. She took on that. So strong. I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for her. She took that on like head first. She had to put aside her emotions and feelings because she still had to raise me. She had to teach me how to be a man. She had to teach me what it meant to be a man. And she also had to teach me how to treat a woman as being a black man in this world. And just that love and care, because she didn't have to do that. A lot of people when they go through those life changes and those struggles, they tend to just drop it off and they don't really care. But she didn't do that. She made sure that she placed the people in my life that was needed. And I prayed. When I was a kid, I prayed to God. I was like, allow my parents to get back together. This and that, and that's the other level of love that I experienced. God's love, because what I asked for actually happened. They got back together. I have a baby sister that's 1 year old. Yeah, people do wrong things, but it doesn't mean that the person is a bad person. And then, yeah, my parents got remarried 2 years ago. They just celebrated their anniversary. And like I said, I have a baby sister. She's 1 year old. So it's like, it's a blessing in disguise, because I always said I always wanted, a sibling from my mother. I was the only child for 23 years until this little princess came along and changed my life and changed who I am and who I want to be. But yeah, that love from God saying that I'm there for you. Even through your times of struggle, I was always there. Even through your moments of, not being sure, He had me all the way and He held my hand. So the love from my mom, and then the love from God, but then what I didn't feel like I was receiving from my father, I got too. That's my man, that's my boy. We chatted up, we talked about everything. I have girl problems, I call him. If you just want to just talk the breeze and just talk about random stuff, we do that too. But I had to realize that I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. My mom's not perfect. Shoot, you behind the screen right now, you're not perfect. But at the end of the day, you gotta be grateful for what you have, because somebody in this world doesn't have anything. And so the love that I get from everybody, my friends, my peers, my loved ones.
The black love that I saw was not that of man and a woman. It was more of siblings and aunts and uncles and those in the neighborhood who seem to love each other unconditionally and support one another in spite of their differences. Grow with that.
My mother and father was the first example. Like, my mom and pops been married 34 years, 32, 34, somewhere like that. Mama don't, get mad. We got your anniversary kind of party, but I know it's around there. I mean, from them, and granted, in every relationship, you're gonna see arguments, you're gonna see this, that, and the third, but understanding how they kept everything together and held it together. And I think for me, it was always being around my aunts and uncles like that, to where just seeing long-lasting relationships with my pastor at my church and his wife have been together for 40, 50 plus years. Current pastor and his wife been together for 52 plus years. So it's things like that give you hope. I mean, my best friend, her mom and pops been together since high school, you know what I mean? So those things you kind of wish to capture, and then, watching the black films, as far as when it comes to different movies and stuff like that, it kind of makes you wish to attain that, you know what I'm saying? For me, that's how I feel about it, as far as you watch Love and Basketball and you see things like that, or you might watch, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of y'all some other black love film references. You watch Best Man Holiday and Best Man in general. I was watching those the other day, so that's why I say that. Those films kind of give you a perspective, you know what I'm saying? Of course, their movies is all fictionally made and stuff like that, but it just gives you the idea and the hope to be what you could potentially have.
I saw so much black love growing up. My parents were literally my black love role models, honestly. They've been married this year. It's gonna be 25 years that they've been married. And their relationship is literally my goals, if you ask me.
The black love that I saw was the strong black woman. just pulling herself up by her bootstraps, not taking no for an answer. The village raising a family type love.
My parents. My parents have been together for, they actually just celebrated, I want to say the 25th anniversary this past week or last week. So yeah, they've been together my whole life. They fuss and they fight, but you know, they still stay strong through it all. So yeah, they're one of the first, well, they are the first example that I've seen of black love, which I strive to be able to have one day.
Black love. I wish there was more of it in this world, where it was more publicized, because unfortunately I see so much interracial love and a lot of black hate, which there's no issue with the interracial love, but it's rooted in black hate, let's be honest. But black love to me is my family, my church family, my friends. I love summer nights, sitting in someone's backyard, just laughing, spades are going, we're drinking, laughing, recounting memories. I love family reunions in the park. I love the church on a Sunday, you know, Easter Sunday, Christmas service, Sunday school. I love, you know, going to the playground and seeing black kids playing and running. I just love all the black traditions. I think all of that's black love. Black people are black love.
Growing up, I grew up with two parents who loved each other. They still love each other. It's like sometimes it's like nauseating, but it's like nauseatingly cute. But that wasn't just the black love that I saw. It was the black love that I felt. I knew that their love for each other was genuine, and the love that they had for me and my sister was something that overflowed. There was nothing I could do to measure the amount of love that they had for me and my sister, and they still have. And I don't even think the black love ends there. I saw black love in my aunts and my uncles and how they embraced me. I saw black love in my parents' close friends who became godparents to me, and I saw black love in every person that was black and just gave me a head nod when they saw me walking by, you know. Black love, I saw it everywhere growing up, and I saw it in the places that I needed it the most to really get me through.
Patience. I think we all have a little bit of brokenness in us, whether it's been passed down through our ancestors or just, you know, back to that intersectionality question. Patience, because we deal with so much. Whether you're a black man, you have a whole different thing that you deal with versus a black woman, and when you come together, it's not just about being black together. You have to understand those differences. You have to be patient with those differences. Patience.
Understanding. I think everyone has different experiences that they bring to the table when it comes to black love. But I think also in terms of that, it's openness. I think that, and that doesn't just go for, you know, a white person loving a black person, or like you know, a black person loving a black person. I think it's important to note that it has to, I think, come from a place of understanding, because everyone has these different experiences. You know, my experiences as like a middle class black person is different than the experience of someone that may have grown up in poverty. You know, we may have experienced different things. So I think that knowing that we all aren't coming from the same place, but we may have some shared experiences, is important when you're, you know, looking to love a black person. But on top of all that, I think that when you're looking to, you know, love a black person, you have to also, I think, have a level of empathy. I think empathy is important to have. Whether you know, also black or not, it's important to have that empathy to say, hey, like, your experience is valid. I may not ever understand it, because I hate when people are like, I understand you. No, you don't understand me. You'll never understand me. You know. And I think I've had some of my white friends say, you know, I understand what you're going through. You don't understand what I'm going through. You won't. You can't. You can empathize. You can see. You can hear me, but you can't understand. I think that knowing where your place is in terms of understanding, but also a place of advocacy, and knowing where you can stop and where you need to keep going, I think also important when it comes to loving someone that's black, as from like a white or non-black perspective.
Understanding. I feel like understanding is one of the most, if not the most important thing to have, black or not. Understanding where somebody comes from, their background, understanding what's happened in their childhood or in their life which that contributes to the way they are, whether it be like their personality, their characteristics, how they act towards you, towards other people. I feel like understanding where somebody comes from and how they're feeling it can bring you closer to people, but I mean, I feel like it can also tear you down, but you have to be willing to understand and to accept a person for who they are.
To love someone black, right? You have to me, if you choose to love someone black, you have to be willing to put all bias and all preconceived judgment aside. And you have to be willing and wanting to understand where your significant other comes from. And again, like I say, taking your pride and bias and preconceived notions aside, because anytime that you feel like, oh, well, this, that, and the third about my significant other as far as who they might be, what they might look like, you're doing no better than the people that already judge them. Because as a black man talking to a woman that's not black, what you need to understand is that the last thing I want to do is go out here, leave the house every day, fight the world, and then come home to you and not feel the love and support, but yet rather feel judgment, or you critiquing, or you not understanding where I'm coming from. And just to love black in general is to understand the plight of black America.
In order to love someone black, I feel like you have to understand our trauma. You have to understand the reality of our situation in this country. And you have to, it's stressful. It's amazing, it's exhilarating, but at the same time, you're also always thinking like, okay, this moment I need to really cherish it, because you never know like what can happen. Those are the thoughts that run through my mind, honestly, especially as a black woman who loves a black man. I think that for me, I'm always very conscious about making sure that I am creating a space where he feels like very loved and appreciated. He feels as though he doesn't have to come home and he's been fighting the world all day and then he's fighting me. And so I think that in order to completely love a black person, you have to dig back to what is our trauma, what is your trauma, what is my trauma, and how do we work to not ignore those traumas, but work through them and love each other through it.
You have to understand and accept a person in order to like grow with them. That's the word. Wow, it's so simple. Yes, in order to grow with them. So like you have to understand every single part about that person, not even just their personality, but their personality stems from their family and their family's family and the city they come from, whatever. So I think understanding is a really big part of black love.
So what I feel that you need, or that's needed to love a black person, is to see underneath their layers and understand that everybody comes from different backgrounds and experiences, and to accept people from where they are.
To love a black person takes the understanding that this is something that is a lifelong commitment and it's not a trend. I think some people get caught up in the aesthetic of black people and the proximity to blackness, like what that can grant them, and what that can sow seeds in for their future. but there is no love for the person themselves or the people. And I think to love a black person, like I said, it takes understanding. It's a lifelong thing, and there's going to be some highs and some lows. But when what you think is a trend ends, your love cannot. And I don't think everybody's grasped that concept of loving a black person.
If we're speaking like outside of our race, accountability, and acknowledgement of your own preconceived biases and misconceptions and understanding. I think that is a big issue with a lot of our non-black friends. They take preconceived notions and, you know, they want to understand, but they don't want to hold themselves accountable for the preconceived notions that they have. Because a lot of times we talk about loving black people, it requires dismantling the racism and discrimination that we inherently have. And in doing so, you have to take ownership that I, you know, have been discriminating to you intrinsically. I've been racist intrinsically. It's not okay, but you know, you have to acknowledge it to get through it. So accountability, understanding, acknowledgement, patience. Because the black experience is not something that ends once you come together. If anything, especially someone that's not black, entering into that person's life, that's even more oppression, you know, from both sides, from being black and from non-black people, you know. Patience, accountability, oh my God. Actual love and not fetishizing people, because a lot of people don't really love black people. They fetishize black people, they fetishize black culture. Loving black people.
I think what is needed to love a black person is trust, understanding, commitment.
What is needed? Oh wow. What is needed to love someone black? For my man. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead with y'all. What is needed for us to love a black woman? That's the real question. You need to know yourself. You need to know who you are deep down inside. You need to know who God made you to be before you can even speak life into any woman. It took me time to do this. It's not easy. I'm not saying that I'm just this amazing person that just came out of the womb like, I got it all. No, I didn't. But my mother did instill in me the proper knowledge that was needed for me to grow. She planted seeds, and it was my job to water those seeds. And so I would say, once you know who you are, it makes things so much easier, man. So much easier. Like, I get it. You trying to be that man. You trying to be that person, the cool guy. This and that. But listen, that cool guy phase, that person, that I'm that guy person or that phase, it get outdated real fast. Nobody wants to marry the cool guy. No one wants to marry the dude that wants every girl for himself. Because at the end of the day, that's not who God made you to be. You really gotta dig deep. You gotta take the ideology of what society has made, what a man should be, out of your whole mindset. Because if you fall for it, you're never going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I know us as black men, us as men, but no, us as black men are taught not to be emotional. You gotta be emotional, dog. Embrace your emotion. Embrace it because it's you. That's who you are. It's alright. It's okay to be emotional, right? People always say, oh, you're emotional, that's, you know, you're gay if you're emotional, this and that. Nah, bro. Jesus wept. And he was the perfect person that ever stepped foot on this earth. And if he can embrace his feelings and his worries, why can't you? So that's what I think for us as black men. We need to embrace who we are. We need to love ourselves. We can't go out seeking love. You gotta pick up that Bible. You gotta read the Bible and learn. Because if you don't, you're not gonna figure it out. It's like your homie can't tell you how to be a man because he's still learning how to be a man. Your daddy can't tell you how to be a man because he's still growing every day to be a man that you see. He may have a little more tips and tools and more experiences than you have, but at the end of the day, we growing every day, dog.
So unofficially, officially, it'll be 34 years in July. But if you add the years that we dated, it's in another 4 years. So, is that correct? What is it like to love this black man? It doesn't take a lot, but to know that he is committed to his family. He's a strong black man, and sometimes you just have to let him do him and just kind of get out of the way and know that whatever he is going to do is going to be in the best interest of his family. He is totally committed to me and the girls. And I mean, I could just go on and on and on, because there's a lot I could list. Not to mention that he ain't bad on the eyes, so yeah.
Loving this loving this black man is seeing the potential and the beauty in him that the world might not always see, and always encouraging him and pushing him to see that, even when he doesn't see it himself, or when the outside is, you know, telling him that he can't do certain things. Like, it's telling him that he can and he will. And just loving him, flaws and all, I think, trauma and all.
What is it like to love this black woman right here? This lovely black woman. I would say it comes down to loving myself. I would have to love myself in order to love someone else. I feel like a lot of people don't tend to focus on self first before bringing someone else into the picture. I need to know I need to know more about me before I can ask her to do anything for me. Because I can't guide her if I can't guide myself. Just having that extra boost of, morale, spirit-driven, God-fearing energy around me is very necessary for me as a black man, especially in today's society, as you can see. So loving her is loving myself, and I would give to her what she gives to me, and vice versa.
It's a privilege and an honor to love this black woman. She is all of that. She's the epitome of a black queen, elegant, sophisticated, caring, compassionate, intelligent. She's my soulmate.
It feels like innocence when I look at these pictures. It also feels like lots of unknowns and discoveries. And I say that because, I'm pretty confident I didn't realize at the time how intelligent and compassionate this man was. I really didn't. But as we've gotten older, I'm just so in love with so many things about him, but particularly his confidence, his compassion for us and those that he cares about, and his intelligence. I don't think I realized how smart he was, but yeah, so yeah, lots of discoveries and
looking at these pictures, it's like I break it up into different segments. It seems like it's been almost 4 lifetimes ago. So the lifetime of dating at Central being one lifetime, going to New Jersey and Fort Dix and that experience being another lifetime, coming back to Hampton Roads or Virginia Beach and that being a 3rd lifetime, to include the birth of my 2 beautiful daughters and our time there together. And now we're going to another phase where they are grown and doing their own things, and we're looking at the easy button for that retirement. When you hear that ding and get to the airport, just grab a bag and go. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been a beautiful time. There's been work, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
if I had to give advice, there are multiple things I would say. Be in it for the long haul. Be supportive of that person, regardless of what their goals or aspirations are. Love them unconditionally. And know that it's a lot of work, but it is so worth it. So worth it, and I wouldn't do it any other way. And always show the person that you appreciate them. Always.
I would say keep an open line of communication as well as you can. Ensure that whoever your future partner and soulmate is, you're on the same trajectory. Try to keep financial things to a minimum. Live by the premise that what goes on in your household stays in your household. And there was one more in there I was trying to add. Oh, yes. Every day that you can raise up, you need to say a daily devotional to ask for help in making your relationship whole. Ask for that divine intervention to keep you together throughout whatever. On a daily basis, every day that you get up, say, Lord, help me to keep this relationship solid. And yeah, it's going to be some work, but it's truly worth it. That's it.
And I would just add that, and I'm so glad that he said that, and see, that's why, he's my partner. But most importantly, you have to have God in your relationship. Because there are going to be some challenging moments that, you may want to just say, hey, I'm done. Look, I'm done. And God will guide you through those challenges and show you what's important and help mend whatever conflicts and relationship problems that you're having. So I think having God is essential as part of your relationship.